Now, there's many Christmases. We spoke about this last week. There are many stories around Christmas. One of the ways that most of us resonate at Christmas time is through music. And that's why we've had certain beautiful performances this morning from Kathy and from the band, because it's often music that gets to the heart of the way you feel about Christmas. Well, there's an interesting history of some of the carols over the last 100 years. You know that a lot of the carols, written often by Unitarian Universalist ministers, were written in response to crises that have taken place in the last 100 years. The carol that came upon a midnight clear, written in response to the American-Mexican War. The carol that we think is a children's carol, Do You Hear What I Hear? Written in response to the Cuban Missile Crisis. Another Unitarian minister, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, wrote the hymn, I Heard the Bells at Christmas Time, when he just got the news that his son had been critically injured in the Civil War. Now, when you understand a little of the history of some of these carols, you see that the way they celebrate Christmas is that it was a war on war. Christmas was a war on war. It was waging peace on war and division. So now to speak about a war on Christmas is really, when you think about it, to say it's a war on Christmas's war on war. And now the other people will come back and say, oh, I'm waging war on their war on Christmas. When they're saying that, what they actually mean is that they're waging war on Christmas's war on war. And as your mother always told you, 5 wars do not make a right. There is no war on Christmas. It's nonsense. It's sensationalism. It's attention-seeking. There is no war on Christmas. But what do you want out of this Christmas? How will you wage peace this Christmas? How will you find that peace within? To mend the bridges within you that have been divided by self-loathing and by pride. And how will you take that inner peace out of yourself and apply it to people around you and make this a season of peace the way it was always intended to be? One of the greatest contemporary Christmas stories comes out of World War I. It was Christmas Eve, 1914. About 100,000 soldiers, German, British, on the Western Front, waging war. On Christmas Eve, first the German soldiers begin decorating their trenches with Christmas decorations, candles. And they start singing carols. And the British, they hear them and they start doing the same thing, decorating their trenches and singing their carols. And before long, they're getting out of their trenches and they're meeting in no man's land in the middle. And they're swapping gifts. And they're wishing each other well. And they're taking a couple of days to even bury some of the recent lost. For a couple of days, they waged peace. And how appropriate that it happened at Christmas time. Because Christmas is not owned by a religion. It's not owned by one particular perspective on religion. Christmas and the holidays are a time of making peace. First with yourself and then with others. The way to make this the best Christmas, holidays ever is to find new levels of peace within yourself. Once you see it, you can't believe it took you so long to find it. Everything becomes clear. You see beneath the pride and the hurt to the humanity in another person. And you can greet them across your own humanity and reach right inside them and touch them at a deep level.